Okay, how's it guys? So I have a Xbox 360. It's a Trinity motherboard. So how I know it's a Trinity motherboard is because it's a sound bridge here and a HANA chip here. So that makes it a Trinity motherboard. Where the Corona motherboards only have a sound bridge. So it's you get this Trinity motherboard on your 2010 modules to 2011 models of 360. This model have a red ring of death issue, which can be any fault. Again, there we go. So there you can see a red light because I tamper movement of the motherboard, second of it. So this is a red light I'm talking about. So if I go get the error code, keep a machine button and you check. So that's 0, 1. Something with more metal. So that's 0, 1, and then 0 again. So the 4 lights blinking means 0, and 1, and 0. So yeah, that's the error code on it, and that's a red light I'm talking about. So that will never boot, it will always stay in a red light. When it boots by accident, it doesn't operate correctly, it's freezing screen and things like that. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I removed the heatsink. This is the AP I'm talking about, so I cleaned it a bit, so it's the dust off and remove the paste. So now I'm gonna add some flux to the corners, the flux, and around the APU, and so I can actually put on the machine and remove the APU. Okay guys, I'm just gonna line it up on the machine. Okay, so now we come to the end of the profile. So I'm just gonna tap with the tweezer to see if it's got loose. So I want to make sure it's completely loose before we try to lift the APU. So that's why I'm just gonna tap it like that, and I pause it on the last few seconds of the profile. Tap it. Because the last thing I want to do is try and remove it and it's not properly loose yet, and then it will just pull the tracks off, and that's something nobody wants to sit with. Yes, I can fix tracks as well, but that's why I always try to avoid it, just to make my life a bit easier. That's loose. Bring the glove closer. There we go. We'll stop the profile, and there you can see I removed the APU. There you can see these. After this, I'm gonna prepare the APU. Okay, so here's the APU. It's about cooled off, yeah, I guess. And this is the APU. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean it up. So put some balls, put a stencil, put flux stencil, some balls, and heat it up again on the machine. So let me start. Here we can see it's nice and flat. Yeah, so this is nice and flat now. Feel it with my finger like that. It's flat all the way. Yeah. So now it's time to put on a stencil. Okay. Now you can see from here. Yeah, stencil is all lined up with the holes. And from here I just put in some solder balls. So I'm gonna zoom in a bit there. Yeah, it looks like all the balls are in place. Yeah. So yeah, all the balls are in and it's ready to get soldered. However, I live in South Africa where we get load shedding. And I don't think it's load shedding because load shedding is supposed to be from 10. This is not 10 o'clock yet. But yeah, I'll see you back when power's back on. Thank you. Okay guys, so now I'll prepare the chip, the APU I just shown you. By doing that, I'll show you what I meant by that. At the same time, so this is the board I'm removing now. At the same time, I'll clean this way as well while I'm soldering the APU. So I'll just put like a hold on it. Yeah. Put the APU on. It's the APU. Put the stencil. Put it here. Move the heater on top. The top heater. So the top heater and the bottom heater target temperature is 250. So target means the last temperature builds up from 50 degrees to 100, 150. There is a smooth hold up for it. Select the profile and go. This is a nice solder profile. Don't want to move that other way. Leave it here. While that's running, I'll clean up the motherboard at the same time, so I can do that on video because that's just running. APU is done now and nicely cooled off. You can see the stencil. I'm just gonna remove the metal tape, the aluminium tape. Okay, all this tape is off now, and remove the stencil. Stencil is off. So that's every person's worst nightmare. Not worst nightmare. Whoever does rebore, like I'm doing, for me it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just used to it. It's after you remove a stencil and there's some balls that didn't take. That hasn't seated properly. And then you have to either redo it or do it by hand. I just do it by hand because I'm so used to it already. So there you can see there's a couple of balls there that just didn't take. So I have to do it by hand. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 balls I have to do by hand. Maybe 13. So it's all this here. So there's one there. There's 3 there in the middle. There's one there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the amount I have to put in my hand. But I'll get through it. I'll do it on camera as well. Okay. So, I like to do this on a separate PCB board, a motherboard, so I don't burn the table. Something like that. Yeah, let me start. Switch on the hot air, put the temperature to 300 and 330, it's fine. Need some balls. Small bit of balls and the tweezer, yeah, the tweezer. Some of this I can just heat up and it should just go. There's a couple that's loose. Add some flux to it. Okay. Added some flux, so let's go over with the heat gun. It will take a while because the top is it cool off, so it's starting to sit in there. It's one ball that's actually moving away from its pad. We'll stop there for now. Also, I want to remove the tip here of the dot A. Move it in place back. Okay, just want to remove the tip. Switch the machine off. Oops, switch it off. That's fine. Okay. Now I'm gonna use the tip. I'm gonna use the dot A without the tip. Reason why, so I can actually spray the heat around it, so not on a concentrated area. In a concentrated area, it will just take much longer to solder in. Okay, I think that's fine. Try it again. Even if I just doing one small ball, small little solder ball, I still just heat up a bigger area. It just works much better. Yeah, you can see how much time I've literally spent seconds to solder in one ball. Yeah, they sorted. There you can see all the balls are sorted. It's in. It's a bit dirty, full of flux and what. But yeah, all the balls are seated. So just letting it cool off a bit, and I'm gonna clean it with alcohol, get all the old flux off. So I'm gonna put new flux in, and then I'll stick it back on a machine and run the machine. And hopefully this will fix it. One thing I want to say, if you have a bad APU, doing all of this, and the main issue of it wasn't actually solderable, it was a bad APU. It will just get worse. Making it cool off a bit. And I pause the video. Okay, even after cleaning it with some alcohol, is one ball that still came loose. So you can see this corner here, it came loose there. So that's why it's always the best to deal with tests of all your balls. The last thing you want to do is when mounting a chip, and there's one ball that didn't seat properly, and then when it actually soldered and it starts bridging to other points, or even just not connecting, or horrible things will happen because you can't actually see what's happening underneath the APU when soldering it back. So there I'm gonna need, I use some alcohol, isopor, and a toothbrush, so I cool down the chip, so this will take a bit of time adding some flux to it. So this will take a bit of time to solder in, however it will solder in. For me, it always makes me a bit worried when something takes a bit of time to solder, especially when I'm using RT stations, because you don't use too much heat for too long. Then I put the ball in by hand. Come in with the RT. Lift up the camera a bit so I can work better. Maybe a bit too much flux, but it's okay, it's going. You can never have too much flux, but in that situation you don't want to have too much flux because just make the ball move around and not sitting at concentrating on one point or sitting at one point where it needs to sit. Just keeping the hot air there so it's waiting for it to melting. Doing it awkward because I'm doing a left hand, because if I use my right hand, it's not going to cover the camera. Come on. Yeah, I'm also getting patient when the chip is cold. When it's cold, things just takes longer. Yeah, but it looks like it's in now. Cool, that's in. That it's all melted in. All the balls are set. So I'll make it cool off a bit and I'll clean it in with some alcohol. Yeah, and it's ready to go to the machine. So my rework station. Okay. Okay, so I'm back at the motherboard. The motherboard's been cleaned while it was soldering in. So I'm just gonna add some flux. Add some flux to it. Nah, sure I won't miss it. So now there's a point here, and that point is a point on the motherboard. I line it up like that. There's 2 points here. So there's a point on the chip itself, and there's a point on the board there as well. So the guide point and the solder I can see. Most chips is like that. 99% of the chips is like that. The PS4 Pro, it's a bit of a headache. There I make marks on the chip itself and on the motherboard before removing it. But most chips there's a guide for you. So I can line up like this, I can feel okay it's sitting in. Or there's a white line around it where it's so actually there you can see there's a line there. Talking about this white line there. There you can see there's a white line there. So white line is right around. I can use that to line it up as well and move it around with the tweezer, but it's about lined up there the way it sits now. And from here I just take it to the machine. I'll be with the machine now. Just preparing it a bit. Removing the stands I use to hold the APU when I'm soldering it, and remove that. So it's nice and tight. Okay, just lined up. See if I can lift the something like that maybe. Yeah. So there's an APU. It's just sitting loose on the properly lined up. So and then bring it in the top heater. Top heater and the bottom heater. All the way against it. And then already good to go. Choose my correct over. Yeah, spin up one and start. Okay, so now it's done, the APU is in now, so we'll clean it up a small bit. Okay. APU is mounted, remove all the foil. So this is only for testing purposes, that's why I'm not putting any paste on it. Just put that in, that in. Put this plate on, X clamp. Yeah. Wi-Fi module in. Put that in. Wi-Fi module in. Give it some power, some display. Tweeze it to switch it on. Here we go. Yep, here we go. This time we have a solid boot and no freezing involved, no red light. This fan is heating a bit up because it's struggling with heat. It's gonna overheat now. Before it does that, I can actually power down. Nah, it's just dry paste, that's all it is. So now I'm gonna do RGH3 on it. RGH3 means so you can play backup games and things like that. Oh, back in the days you used to call it chip. You do a chip on a PS1 and PS2. So RGH3 is the latest method of it. You used to get RGH2 and RGH1, I'm not sure, speak under correction. But I know there's a J tag for all the muzzles, and this one came with RGH. So the reason why it just overheated, the board was a bit hot still, and the amount of dry paste there is, and it's not sitting well with this, but it's fine. Like I said, it's good enough just for testing. Okay, just doing recording on the computer as well. So, recording there, recording on my phone. So we can see what I'm doing. So, first thing I'm going to do is bring up yeah. RGH3, trinity, one of those. So this here, so this resistor there I need to put in. It goes to that point. I have the resistor here usually, gonna scratch that open. It's a scratch point, I have to open it. This point you have to scratch open, and this is just a bridge from CPU reset to the point in the board. So let's get started. So basically it's a trinity motherboard and the guide is a trinity motherboard. Look, it's frozen here. Huh? What just happened? get the scratch tool out. Why now? What's wrong? That's nicely done. Good enough. So, now I'm bring the motherboard closer. Clean it a bit. Yeah, make more sense like that. Clean it up. There's a point there. There's a point there. A scratch open, so I'm gonna solder a wire to that point. So yeah, let's carry on. Yeah, that's the same point that's on the computer. I'm gonna add the resistor to it. So it's a 10k resistor. I have a bucket there with resistors and things and tubes and stuff. So the resistor I'm using is a surface mount. I just work better with a surface mount resistor. So I'm just looking for a 10 case here. There we go, found a 10 case. So 10k goes to the other point, which is under this filter here. Goes there. Of I put it there. They actually in this filter they wanted to put it here, but it's just too much work. It really doesn't matter what side of it, as long as the resistor is in line. It can be in the middle of the wire as well. So I'm just gonna mount it there. And this is the RGH3 method. There is RGH2. The difference with RGH2, it just takes forever to boot up. You can get some good timing files. I'm just looking for a chip. I have a blown chip on the motherboard on the table. So this is a RGH2 method where you have to install a chip like this. It's a glitch chip, and like I said, this one you have to program it with a programmer, which I also have. I used to do this before RGH3 came out. RGH3 is like kind of new. RGH2 was out for a while already. This is a blown chip. Not sure what is blown on it, what went wrong with it. The client's console I just converted from RGH2 to 3, and that's working. So there's something wrong with it. But it used to be a chip like this. So you install it with the wires on the board and things like that. There's guides about it, and there's each motherboard you have to write different timing files, and you have to play with the timing files to see which boot sequence is faster or not. RGH3 it's just so much better. It's instant boot. You switch it on, your console switch on, and that's it. If it does, your console happen not to switch on, it most probably means you have a hardware failure, like maybe needs a reball, south bridge, whatever, resistor, capacitor, whatever the case would be. If it doesn't boot up, if you have a perfect console with the RGH3 installed with the correct codes written to the motherboard, to the NAND, it will always just boot up instantly. Anyway, enough about RGH2. I'm doing RGH3 because it's just way better, and that's the way to go. Where's that point now? That point. So yeah, there we go. So just here. Show you on camera what I did. So it's right there. There you go. There's it. I added the resistor there. From there I'm going to add a wire to the other point I showed you earlier. Now there we go. That's in. So I will just pull on it. So if it doesn't break, it means it's in. You can see I solder a wire from here, this point, to the point where I scratch down. Yeah, there we see. From this point here, through that point I scratch down there. It's a bit dirty with the flux. See there, it's soldered in there. Yep. Clean it a bit. So it's from there, that point there, all the way to that point up there. This point there is bridged to that point up there, and this one here is bridged to that point up there, including the resistor in line. So that's the installed. Oh, I wanted to say that's just a coated wire I'm using, so it can't cause any damages, can't cause any shorts, because there's no conduction on the wire at all. There's no conduction on the wire at all. Okay, now it's time to install the NAND wires to actually write the ECC file, and from the ECC file I build the exe build, and then from exe build I write the exe builds, and from there I have a free boot console again, so it will boot up but only with the hack image, so you can actually run homebrew apps and things like that. So from here onwards I go into Zrunner, open Zrunner. So I need a printer to install the wires, the NAND wires. Okay. So black was a bit dodgy, it was still connected but it was just dodgy. Let's see if it was that. Question mark. There we go. Oh, the black wire was dodgy. Okay. Found the issue, fixed the issue. And there you go. So that's how much I use this stuff. It's just wear and tear, it's nothing too serious about it. But when it do happen, I really have to hunt it because by just looking at it, it just looks okay, looked okay. But then obviously it wasn't. Even though black was beeping, it just had the connection was too poor to actually transfer the data. So I just decided, okay, it's not going to transfer the data. I just had to find it, and it's like, okay, there's a dodgy connection. So I'm reading the NAND now. You have to read it to get the CPU key. So if you don't read it, you won't be able to get the CPU. Fresh image back to it. You can build the image from scratch, but it means your DVD-ROM won't work after that. And it's always nice to have a DVD-ROM that's also working, so you can play disc games and copy disc games and things like that. Alternatively, there's a longer way to fix it as well. If you manage not to read the NAND like I'm doing now, and you just lost it, but you can retrieve the CPU key from here. That's by getting a ROM PCB, getting that DVD key, and marry the DVD key and the CPU key together, and then do. That way you always have, that way you can still read a NAND on, not read disc on the console. Without this, your stock ROM just won't work anymore. You can still play it back again and still enjoy the console. It just don't have a working DVD ROM that can actually read your games. So fun times and fun times and fun times. Okay, first one done, then another dump. There you go. So doing 2 dumps to make sure the dumps are successful enough, being got interrupted in the middle. If you have 2 of the dumps of the same, it means you're good to go. So 2 things happened here. The one wire broke from the reader, the NX, the board there. Another one broke by the motherboard of the 360. Okay, we said comparing NANDs are the same, so I'm safe, I'm good to go, I have the clean backups. So from here, I'm gonna click on RGH3 and create gel. So I created gel, so I'm gonna write gel. So now it's writing a small portion onto the NAND, which is a gel boot. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean this old paste here, so try to avoid overheating. There it boots now. So it might be just a dodgy connection on the cell bridge itself. I think before I just close it up, I'm just gonna reflow the cell bridge. Just make sure a client on the end of the side doesn't have issues. So from here, I'm just gonna type in the IP address. There is an IP address on the screen there. It's the so I'm just gonna go 76 at the end, and then get CPU key. It's got the CPU key. I'm gonna have to load the files I dumped. So it's this here, and then it's gonna read it again, CPU key, and then say CPU key is correct. From there, I'm gonna check RGH3, create X build. It's creating the build now, doing its thing, converting to RGH3. It's done. So this is ready. So I can either put it on the flash drive or just write it back. Why is it still soldered in? So I'm just gonna shut it down like that. So from here I just click on right name, so I just write it because now it's writing the update pin. So that's writing a free boot image now. So I'm just gonna add some flux and reflow it. It's no need to really reball it. Small sort of flush it with some alcohol and just reball it. It was just a bit dusty. And then you should have a good console. So you see all the testing I do on the board and shake the board a bit, especially with the BJ chips. The way to figure it out, it's always you have to use your own tricks and nicks and stuff. So, but sometimes just pressing on it, banging on it a bit can solve a connection. You know that's the issues there. That's finding BJ issues. Different consoles have different issues. Sometimes I have to inject voltage, use a FLIR camera to find out what's heating up, or tracing on a multimeter, or checking standby voltages with the multimeter. There's so many tricks and nicks to electronics and finding what can be an issue on the motherboard. Also, just looking at components and things like that and see if anything is cracked or corroded or something like that. So many ways of troubleshooting the issue. It's writing. That's done. Unplug the reader, unplug the cables. And all this, a console might be working perfectly inside a case. Outside of a case it might be different because you tampered with it and moved around with it. I need a tweezer to switch it on. So now we should have a free boot. Here we go. That's not actually what I wanted it, but anyway. It's a gel boot. I don't want a gel. I want free dash. Yeah, that's right. That's a normal switch on. And bam, free boot. Okay, so as guys, this is the last bit of this video. So I close it up, I reflow the south bridge, I rebuild the APU, I install RGH3, so to go. So for now, this is the final test. I'm switching it on now. I inserted the client hard drive here, so it will boot up in Freestyle Dash or whatever they use to boot up. And there, so see it boots up. Okay, I think this is Freestyle Dash. I've got some nice Tomb Raider team there. Go to games. Yeah, this is Freestyle Dash. There's a couple of games there. FIFA 21. I'll have a look at FIFA 21 and see what's that all about. Let's go FIFA 21 and see what is this. Cool. Thank you for watching. I've enjoyed it. On to the next one.